The new oil, the new compute. Can Saudi Arabia realize its ambition to become the world's AI inference factory? Saudi's ambition, the world's AI inference factory. Training a frontier AI model requires billions in capital, but the financial bottleneck has shifted to the operational cost of keeping those models running to answer billions of daily prompts. This is the basic economics of AI inference. The price is dictated by two factors: hardware efficiency and electricity. Securing processors is a one-time expense, but powering them continuously creates an ongoing operational cost that never stops accumulating. Saudi Arabia is executing a strategy to collapse the global cost base of AI by isolating and targeting that specific power variable. Because the mathematics of the industry are rigid, the conclusion is clear: whoever secures the cheapest electricity will dictate the baseline pricing for global AI. To execute this shift, the Saudi government, through its public investment fund, capitalized a central tech entity called HUMAIN, launched in May 2025. HUMAIN is building the infrastructure to physically convert the country's solar yield into intelligent computing power. But this is not just an energy cost play. It is part of Saudi Arabia's national AI industrial policy. Under Vision 2030, the kingdom is trying to diversify away from oil by building strategic sectors around data, cloud infrastructure, semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and digital services. AI investment has surged worldwide, and for Gulf countries it has become a pillar of economic diversification. Saudi Arabia is positioning itself as one of the central AI hubs in that transition. That momentum is starting to register internationally. Citing Stanford's 2025 AI Index, Saudi officials rank the kingdom among the world's top 10 AI nations, third globally in advanced AI model development, behind only the United States and China, and third in AI job growth behind India and Brazil. Its projects include the $2.7 billion Hexagon data center in Riyadh, designed to become the world's largest government-owned data center facility. The kingdom is also preparing a major cloud data center region with Microsoft Azure, known as Saudi Arabia East, in the Eastern Province. At the same time, NEOM has signed a $5 billion deal with Datavault to develop what it calls the world's first net-zero AI data center. The campus is designed for a total capacity of 1.5 gigawatts. Its first phase is backed by that $5 billion investment and is expected to come online from 2028. Across the Gulf, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are leading a broader race to build AI infrastructure at scale. The UAE's initiatives include Stargate UAE, which is expected to build a 1-gigawatt supercomputing cluster in Abu Dhabi. Their model bypasses the physical limitations of the energy grid. Instead of exporting electricity, Saudi Arabia intends to export digital output tokens at a price that undercuts Western cloud providers. This is a structural arbitrage play, turning natural geographic assets into a digital pricing advantage. The physical anchor for this power advantage is the Al-Shuaibah solar project, a 600-megawatt array along the Red Sea coast. Electricity generated there costs around 3.9 Saudi halalas per kilowatt-hour, roughly 1 US cent. That is more than 15 times cheaper than the inflation-adjusted cost of complex Western baseload generation such as the UK's Hinkley Point C nuclear plant. Because commercial AI models require round-the-clock processing, the lifetime cost of an AI model is shaped overwhelmingly by its power draw and cooling requirements. A gigawatt of electricity is enough to power roughly 750,000 homes, yet a single major AI campus may demand that much dedicated, continuous energy just to run day-to-day operations. That is why Gulf countries are ramping up renewable investment to feed ever-expanding AI infrastructure. Replicating this kind of energy discount is a physical and regulatory near impossibility for grid-constrained markets in the West. But low-cost electricity is commercially useless for AI if it cannot be connected to top-tier American silicon. Control over that hardware sits with the Bureau of Industry and Security within the U.S. Department of Commerce, which dictates where advanced AI chips can legally be deployed. Under the AI diffusion rule issued in January 2025, Saudi Arabia was placed into a Tier 2 category, strictly capping its GPU procurement. That roadblock held until May 2025, when the Trump administration rescinded the rule to attract sovereign wealth investment. The policy shift unlocked the chips. At the Saudi-US Investment Forum in May 2025, NVIDIA announced a partnership with HUMAIN, whose first phase is an 18,000-unit GB300 Grace Blackwell supercomputer, the opening installment of a 5-year build-out targeting up to 500 megawatts and several hundred thousand GPUs. Then on November 19, 2025, the day after MBS pledged $1 trillion in U.S. investment at the White House, the U.S. Commerce Department authorized HUMAIN and the UAE's G42, each to purchase the equivalent of up to 35,000 NVIDIA Blackwell GB300 chips under strict security and reporting conditions. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang lobbied to relax these restrictions, unlocking a new sovereign buyer for advanced AI hardware. Solving this geopolitical bottleneck gave Riyadh the keys to the physical compute infrastructure it needed. While NVIDIA's general-purpose GPUs are leaders in building and training AI models, they are less efficient for the repetitive task of inference. To solve this, Saudi Arabia deployed a specialized architecture, the Language Processing Unit, or LPU, developed by Groq. GPUs suffer from variable latency because they manage complex memory hierarchies. LPUs strip out that complexity in favor of deterministic execution. Utilizing on-chip SRAM, the LPU functions like a programmable assembly line. The compiler knows exactly when data arrives at each stage, eliminating delays. Groq LPUs process large language models at around 300 tokens per second, roughly 10 times faster than an NVIDIA H100 running the same workload. That speed creates a compounding energy advantage. An LPU requires between 1 and 3 joules of energy per token, compared to 10 to 30 joules for a GPU. Swapping flexible graphics processors for specialized LPUs permanently shrinks the fixed cost variable of the inference equation. HUMAIN operates differently than a passive electricity vendor or a standard hardware landlord. By fusing specialized Groq silicon directly into a 1-cent solar grid, it is building a digital factory. The strategy is to price output tokens at roughly half the prevailing market rate. Even at that discount, low underlying energy costs still allow the sovereign state to capture a margin on every token sold. In effect, Saudi Arabia is commoditizing digital intelligence and packaging it for global export, exactly like refined oil. This hardware economics serves a higher software goal, organized into a vertically integrated stack. The foundation relies on a solar advantage, which powers data centers and houses the silicon required for token exports. But export is only half the story. The same 1-cent compute also feeds domestic demand, and there the output is not a generic commodity, but a sovereign one. HUMAIN's flagship model is ALLaM, an Arabic-centric large language model originally developed under the Saudi Data and AI Authority, and now owned by HUMAIN. Its most capable public version, ALLaM 34B, powers HUMAIN Chat, an Arabic-first assistant launched in 2025 and independently verified by Cohere as one of the most advanced Arabic models in the world. Trained on one of the largest Arabic datasets ever assembled and fluent across both modern Standard Arabic and regional dialects, it is built for the roughly 400 million Arabic speakers and 2 billion Muslims that Western models have largely underserved. Just as important, it runs entirely on Saudi soil under Saudi data protection law. Rather than import Arabic intelligence from foreign providers and send its citizens' data abroad to get it, the kingdom now manufactures those tokens at home, keeping both the value and the data inside its borders. The same factory serves 2 markets at once: commodity tokens exported cheaply to the world and sovereign tokens produced for the domestic and wider Arabic-speaking market. The contrast with the UAE next door is sharp. Abu Dhabi's Technology Innovation Institute built its rival Falcon models as open-weight systems, given away free under a permissive license and distributed on platforms like Hugging Face, a bid to win global influence by making the model itself a public good. Saudi Arabia bet the opposite way. ALLaM is closed, its weights private, reachable only through HUMAIN's own service, and hosted on home soil. 2 Gulf neighbors, 2 theories of sovereign AI. One broadcasts its model to the world, the other keeps the model, the data, and the tokens at home. But the apex of the pyramid is proprietary software. HUMAIN is leveraging this compute to build a native enterprise AI operating system. This operating system aims to compete with legacy monopolies by using autonomous AI agents to run human resources, finance, and legal functions. Deploying software at this scale creates a difficult market dynamic for Western cloud providers, who are locked into expensive power grids. Those providers face a dilemma: pass high power costs onto their users, accept lower margins, or move their physical infrastructure to the Middle East. Saudi Arabia is executing a historic transition, from extracting physical fossil fuels beneath the desert to manufacturing digital intelligence above it. But this entire thesis rests on one unspoken assumption: that the factory itself is safe. In early 2026, that assumption was tested when the cheapest compute on Earth collided with the oldest variable in geopolitics: war. In Part 2, we trace the night that a single attack rewrote the economics of global AI, and why the cheapest electricity alone can no longer win the inference race.